Welcome back. Johannesburg doesn't have a track record, or great one at that, when it comes to fire safety at aging government buildings. Last week, a fire broke out at the Charlotte Maxeke hospital, destroying a large part of the building. The cause of the inferno is still being investigated. Now, fortunately, no one was injured. It's been 3 years since the Bank of Lisbon fire in the Johannesburg CBD as well. But has fire safety at government buildings actually improved since then? Let's try to find out. Barry Bateman joins us now for more on this. So questions, of course, emerging about the hospital's compliance with health and safety regulations. What are the allegations and what regulations are we referring to here?
Well, first off, the allegation relates or comes from a private fire service company that was out there on Friday night and into Saturday morning to assist the Johannesburg Municipal Service put out the fire. They've come out and said that the fire hydrants weren't working. But this is twofold, the type of the allegation. First off, related to the fact that they were either vandalized or parts of it had been stolen, rendering them unusable like that. But the other aspect related to water pressure. If there's no water pressure, you can't pump the water onto the flames. So those are the aspects. The government, the Gauteng government has come out and they firstly denied these allegations. They're saying that there was an inspection as recent as just a few months ago. They were inspected twice a year, and that according to them, these hydrants were in working condition. This, of course, will form part of a broader investigation. But the health and safety regulations that apply here, firstly, relate to building regulations. That's the one aspect. But the other is occupational health and safety, which would require the owner of a building to ensure that the fire hydrants are serviced and working, the fire hoses and the reels are all in place, and various other aspects related to ensuring that the building is safe in the event of a fire like this. You were saying that the City of Johannesburg doesn't have a very great track record. Well, this is the concern. You just look at the Bank of Lisbon fire a couple of years ago. That report still hasn't been released, Johan, despite numerous requests on the government by various agents or lobby groups, including opposition parties. We still don't know what lacking aspect in terms of the fire safety were found there. But we obviously do know that people lost their lives in that, and it was a significant tragedy in the city. So those are the aspects, especially related to whether the city had adhered to the legislation related to Charlotte Maxeke Hospital, will form part of an investigation.
Yeah, and I know the Premier said today that he's expecting a report by the end of tomorrow, so hopefully we'll actually be able to see that report, given that we're still waiting for that Lisbon building. So it's not just about the building and where this fire occurred. Joburg Fire Services have been troubled for some time. Of course, we'll be watching to see how they manage this fire when it actually happened.
You know, I think you just got to look at what happened on Friday night and into Saturday morning. There was a private fire service that was there to go and support the City of Johannesburg. We understand that there were trucks coming in from Ekurhuleni as well, simply because the City of Johannesburg, and we've known this for a couple of years, that they've been having problems with the ability to, they don't have enough fire trucks, the machines that you need to pump water onto the fires. There's also the concern related to expertise, the skills of the people that are on the front line that need to go into these burning buildings and put their lives on the line. Now, I was speaking to a private fire safety consultant, Bevan Wolf, on this particular aspect. Now, Wolf is a former firefighter himself. He's been part of the Fire Protection Association of Southern Africa. He was also involved in that investigation of the Bank of Lisbon fire. So somebody who's very knowledgeable. And I asked him, generally speaking, in your experience, what is the level of compliance of safety in the state? And he says, generally, on government-owned buildings, there's a very low level of compliance. But on the issue that goes beyond just that compliance and the people involved, he had this to say.
The major thing is that this is a multiple problem that we have here. It's a compounded problem that we have, where in Johannesburg we do have definitely a challenge, and that has been exposed, and that is public knowledge, that we do have a response challenge in Johannesburg. We have a situation where on many occasions we don't have water at all, and that is also a public service that is not being provided in an adequate, and obviously for the periods that we've been without water entirely, we've been exposed to a fire. If my house caught alight during the period that we had no water in our reservoir a couple of weeks ago, my house would have burned to the ground. So it is a major problem that these services are a challenge. The fire services themselves, when they're responding, there is indications that possibly their tactics and specifically the fact that a fire that was allegedly under control earlier in the day, reported in the media as being under control, then got out of control and virtually burnt to a situation where it was uncontrollable and caused structural damage. That should not occur.